our day with an opening keynote address, and the topic is quite enthusiastic and quite interesting, related to AI versus hyperintelligence. Why 2025 demands new SEO strategy. Can we have a big round of applause for our keynote speaker and welcome him on the stage, Dr. Tuhin Banik, CEO and Director with ThatWare.
So once again, good morning, everyone. So before beginning, I would like to say so we are in 2025, and as you know, we have quietly caught up with the bloom of artificial intelligence. So ever since with the rise of ChatGPT and all, so artificial intelligence has been the trend. People are generating newer contents every single day. In fact, I would say every single seconds. So artificial intelligence is on the rise, and now with the advent of AI, so it is the need of the hour that people should also leap one step forward and dig inside into what more can be done into the world of artificial intelligence. So we have came out with two concepts as hyperintelligence, so going one step forward of AI, and understanding in a layman term as how hyperintelligence can leverage our presence more into the world of search. So first of all, what is hyperintelligence? Now, the thing is, with the advent of artificial intelligence, just like I said earlier, that more and more algorithms and more contents are getting on the rise of the internet every single second. Now, having said that, it is the need of the hour for every single organization, like search engines or social media platforms, to accurately understand the relevancy segment of every single content, or I would say the judgment day of the entire internet. Now, having said all of this factor, this led to the rise of understanding the large language model segmentation. So the more you want to play with the data set of LLM, so it's quite the need of the hour that you need to dig inside the large language model, and some of the introduction of quantum science marketing, which I explain later in the upcoming model. So I'm just basically, just to keep the thing short, I have divided into three segments: market change analysis, that can help in the prediction of, you can select the future prediction of the market segmentation, quantum science marketing, or QSM. So that involves the superposition and entanglement of large data set into the predicting what more we can get out from large, or I would say very large and complex data sets, like real-time transactional values and all, and multidimensional pattern recognition, which can help us in understanding how the user behaves and what kind of intent we can predict from their output. So does it really matter? So if you ask me personally, I think yes, because 6 years back, I was on the same stage with Vitali, and also back then we used to have discussion on the evaluation of AI. So Vitali, if we recall the days 6 years or 7 years back, so I still remember back then ChatGPT was not there, so people was back then people was going through the normal technologies, and AI was on the trend. But right now, since AI is the mainstream, even if I come from India and Dubai, so if I go to the Middle East segment, even on engineering field, people from their bachelor days right now keeps on learning artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence now have become the mainstream segmentation. Now, if we need to adapt to certain technicalities that represents or comprehends beyond AI, we need to understand certain language models where we can bring all the AI parameters together, and we can make the data more concise. So I think it's happy to say AI is still on the run, but maybe 5 years down the line, if we interact once again, so that time hyperintelligence would be on the go, because with the revolution of AI, so it has become the need of the hour to make your business adaptation into the hyper-intelligence world. And also like just to say you out that every single day Google, I'm just representing Google for now to keep the thing simple. So Google is updating more than 18 algorithms update in just a single day, which is near about 6,500 in a single year. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because for any business owners like me and you, it has become I would say like it is quite challenging that on the go, it's very difficult for businesses to keep their momentum high with the change in the search strategies or with the business intelligence strategies. Now, here why I would like to say that emphasizing on large language model is important, because this would make sure that your business is not only getting the most out of the ROI when compared to your competitors, but also in return can get the most value out of it. So what I've missed, like the real odds, the thing is like with the advent of HI, we can do like reverse engineering. Like we can actually like check back into the competitors, and we can actually check like what type of behavior, like what type of data they are representing, and we can kind of get a pattern out of the same. And just a small difference from the traditional AI model, the only way it's different is like if we emphasize more on the large language model segment. So emphasizing on hyperintelligence, like we can be much more faster while while adapting our algorithms to the continuous change. So unlike AI, where we need more and more number of data sets, so using hyperintelligence model, we can actually be reliant on something more compact. It is just like back in 1960s, where one gigabyte memory was just like this room full of data, and right now people are using like 1 terabyte in just a single hard drive. So it's just as simple as that. So if you want to understand the languages more, so right now the main immediate challenge is that businesses needs to run through millions of data sets, and it's quite challenging for the servers, it's quite challenging for the training models, and more importantly, it's quite of the challenge for businesses to adapt to the server technologies, because it's costly, it's not that efficient, and we need to be reliant on certain third-party platforms like CloudFront or AWS for some of the computational adaptability. So having said all of these factors, I think it's a need of the hour that we can change our business goals to the real-time adaptability, where we can actually play with the data in real time and get the results more accurate possible. Just a quick example, like just 1.5 years back, if we used ChatGPT, so that was actually not giving us the real-time data. So like if we would have searched anything, then it would have given us like, I only have the data up to 2021 or 2022. But right now, if you use DeepSeek or Perplexity or even like Google Gemini or ChatGPT, so we can see like the breaking news of the real-time trend, it's quietly picking up. So basically what ChatGPT is doing, like it's leveraging more on the LLM to reduce its dependency on the real-time servers and moving more closer towards how it can understand the real-time adaptability, while keeping into the consideration that its market costs, its go-to-market strategies, SOPA framework or pattern is not being effective at all. So these are things I've already discussed. Like it's more like human reasoning, like the learning and reasoning what we can bring out from traditional AI. So it's more adaptive to compared to the traditional AI strategies. It's fast, yes, it is fast. Okay, so here's a stat which I just denoted a couple of minutes back. Like what's the problem with AI that we're facing right now? So the immediate threat, which we did a survey. So me and my team, we did a survey based on you can say like 9,000 of our B2B clients from 120 countries over the last 9 years, and we found we did found that almost and it's also as per statistics, like 175 websites are created every single minute. If I just compare about B2B from the like the tier 1 countries or tier 2 and tier 3 combined. And 60% of the market is currently using actually the tools to generate their contents or insights. Now the problem here is that like since AI revolution have grown 4 times since 2021, so contents are losing its relevance fast. It's losing its real-time valuation faster, and now the problem what we are facing is like if we map our vision to the user intent, then some of the user intents are becoming like we're losing down on the user intent, because what we can see is like the smaller businesses or the minimal business segment, or even sometimes MNCs are now leveraging more towards AI tools to generate like contents faster to cope up with the market. And some of this is the problem for the future, because in the future we definitely need to adapt ourselves so that we will be we can keep a proper track as which content have more value, which content have more relevance, and which content is actually solving the user like end user needs. And I think just like I said, like we're still on the AI run, but if I predict like 6 years down the line, or even 5 years, like even somewhere from 2030 onwards, 2030, then I think this would be quite of the overload, because more content from the AI framework, more of the vast content insights would be would become quite distinctful, and I think it would be quite a big challenge for B2B or even B2C, D2C consumers or brands to keep up with the content needs. And I think there would be a rise of like how business can understand the language model more easily. So I think people should leverage on hyperintelligence from the earliest stages, so that over the time it should not be overkill, but it can be a consistent, and it should be with the flow. So like I said, like the main issue is of the saturation, because with AI somewhere like businesses have reached saturation. Even with our own survey, we have seen that every 1 out of 9 clients, even from our database, are facing a saturation issue at this moment, where business owners are feeling like they're losing on its own competition due to overburden of contents, structure, their news segments, how well they're performing within the ZOPA framework, or how well they're like they're negotiating with their business intelligence and their immediate peer competitors. So it's in need of the hour, because if we start now, then it will take certain years for the framework to develop its momentum, and we can get something more out of the segment. So I'll just speak about 3 or 4 strategies, keeping down in mind of the time limit that I have. So the first one is neural matching. So if any of like let's say like this is an example. So the thing is like if we give a query like why does my head hurt after drinking something cold. So the thing is that like that particular content should be depicting something of brain freeze or something like head hurt or drinking something cold. Now the thing is that with the help of hyperintelligence, what we can do is like we can get the more of the behavior history of the brain freeze in real time, about what are the market or the medical trends of brain freeze, or that combines both the pain and the working functionality of a particular human like body. So having said, like it does have a small brief, but in short, like if we have proper neural matching done right, then it can really help businesses to keep up with the latest medical trends down right on the Google search, and like it can actually help the businesses to move up with the flow. Then we have the entity understanding. So if we just use Pixel 7 training too fast. Now here Pixel 7 is a smartphone which search engines or social media platforms can understand, and training too fast, the search engines or social media can understand it's the performance issue. Now how they're understanding, they're actually understanding this because they know that this is the pain point where Pixel 7 is the entity, and training too fast has to resonate something with the performance segment of that particular entity. Now now with the trend of businesses getting into the live run and more businesses coming live every single day, so it has become the need of the hour for search engines or for social media platforms or even with the affiliates to understand how entity is playing. Like today, if you open your phone and just type Apple, so Apple would be seen not just as a fruit but also as the product Apple itself. So they are really playing well with the entity understanding. But let's just not focus on the Apple. Like, what if you were to build like a startup right from today? So if you have something on the mind, then you need to like drill down on your entity right from day one and start from then and there, because the more your entity is being understandable by the search engines or the social media platforms or even the internet, I would say, in short, the more it would be better for your brands to keep up with the race, because entity understanding would be the next big thing that I can foresee to come like as we like foresee our future. Yeah, so next what it comes as query contextualization. So once again, like if we have large multi-millions or even billions of data sets, or even if we like if someone is from like business intelligence segment and if we are working with a lot of data, so if we just use a simple query as a quarterly revenue from Q3. Now the thing is that every model should understand what is Q3, what's the CRM, what the data is all about. Now, like if you ask me, yes, I would say like AI is okay if you have a smaller data sets, but since I'm considering as a whole unit now, if we have a billions of data sets, and if I even look into the picture of how Facebook is handling more than multi-millions of images being uploaded every single seconds in the whole world, so I think it's leveraging the run with the help of query contextualization, where it is keeping up with the momentum on how how it's like keeping itself away from the false false negativity run statement from the internet. One of the reasons why Elon Musk acquired Twitter, because it's removing the false and negative comments from the internet. So if businesses have large data sets, then query contextualization would be more useful, because it would be more concise, and I think it would even become more like fusion fruitful for the businesses to adapt into the same. Yes, spelling correction. So on the run, like nowadays everyone is using voice search or just typing out like any of the phrases in the Go. So if you miss out on any of the phrases or sentences in terms of spelling correction or something like that, so I think as the internet would become more viable in the near future, or the more contents we drill down in the near future, the more data we will be having in the near future. So spelling correction or context awareness will become the need of the hour, because right now, yes, if we search something dynamic on our like mobile devices, we can get the accurate spelling correction. But the thing is like how that can affect a business. So for instance, like if we put some negative queries and like negative queries on the run, so there can be a possibility that there can be some of your competitors that can drill down or tap into your traffic from some of the negative keywords. In fact, as a matter of fact, in pay-per-click from Google, so negative keywords segment is already there. So to tap on the negative segment, I think context awareness is very important, because there are a lot of online spams which are going on just because of negative keywords, because a lot of businesses are on the run to just tap into the traffic segment to acquire the negative traffic. So I think this can be corrected if we can switch down to context awareness. So then with the sentiment analysis, sorry. Yeah, so then we have the sentiment analysis. So once again, like just to keep things short, so like the thing is like there are a lot of nowadays it's more about how we are dealing with the news. Specifically, if you come from the highly populated countries on the world, like we come from India, so we have more than 1.555 or 58 billion people right now. So how well we can keep the rumors, how well we can keep the hate speeches away from the internet, I think it has become really the need of the hour for the whole country as a whole. So sentiment can really understand in keeping it up, because back were the days, even without it, like back were the days where we were, like even I have seen days where if some things are going off the track on the internet, then some of the areas even bans the internet for a certain time frame. So I think this really hampers businesses or small business like us, because we are dependent on internet heavily, and we see like it takes 6-7 days for a particular governance to like keep the internet up and running. So I think if businesses are dependent on sentiment analysis, then it can keep itself away from the sentiment hurt, what I would say, because right now, like if you're dealing with large data sets, or if your end customers are from some populated regions, then keeping yourself away from the hated speech, I think, would be one of the next big thing, and sentiment can really play a big factor down the line. Even though like sentiment analysis has become the need of the hour, because people do love to hear positive things. So like the more negative or the hatred speech we spread towards any particular field, businesses, entity, companies, giants on the go, I think like it itself is contradictory that businesses are losing its own values, because the more it goes, the more sensational the things becomes. And this is like what we have structured, like the behind the scene. Once the data is collected, so we can pre-process using the remarks, the tokenization, and then we can vectorize the things. We can apply certain machine learning parameters, and then we can just do the evaluation. So here are more like the user intent then can be further analyzed into further into transactional segment or informational or even commercial, even as a retrieval, because the thing is right now is like if a user searches two different parameters, like buy red Nike running shoes, or like best running shoes for flat feet. So these two queries are different. So the first one is more towards the transactional, and the second one is more towards the informational. Now the problem here is that like sometimes we reach, or businesses reach a saturation where the marketing team blames a particular organization that we need more revenues, the Q1, Q2 is ending and we need more revenues, we need the more like top funnels to flow in. So in that particular cases, we need businesses to strive towards transactional intent, like transactional user intent segment, apart from being more commercial or like more informational or more blogs, because and sometimes it can be vice versa. Like if you are a news channel, so or a native advertisement platform, then we would also need to keep into the fact that we would be needing more informational intent as well to keep up with the trend of the traffic. So image ranking has always been, I think, like quite of the factor, because even still now, if you are not using the paid version of ChatGPT or DALI, so I think images are not being understood correctly even till today, because before the journey of ChatGPT began, I think understanding the images was one of the main priority. People was understanding with the help of alt tags or alternative texts back like 5 years previously, but after the advent of understanding images, which you can experience through DALI or ChatGPT 4 and plus, which is the paid version. So people are now understanding more on the image segments. I think there would be a time in the future where we need to also like keep the things very short. Beyond the content can sometimes be boring, and we can just keep the things more concise towards the images itself. And we can use certain algorithms, like I just used one of the algorithm as ADAGRAD. So we can use various algorithms like simulated annealing, or which even iPhone uses for the 360 Vision Pro, or ADAGRAD to even make sure that your images are being understandable, the context of the images, the pixel, the depth, what the image is all about, and how it can foreplay the future if the images does not contain any kind of conflictory visualization or representation. or any of the like sensitive or censored portions. So I think in like working for the images can be one thing fast forward for the future, because like seeing the trend, I think content can be boring maybe 3-4 years down the line, where people would be just need to see a small image or an infographic, or maybe a small pathway infographic to visualize something short of this text. So that can also play a huge role, and leveraging your business goals for image, for understanding the images can be another thing why hyper intelligence or understanding the large language model, or even understanding the quantum science can be the next big thing. So AEO and GEO are on the rise. The short form is Ask Engine Optimization, or generative engine optimization, which means like how predictive transformers are leveraging on your brand. Like now, predictive transformers nothing but Chat GPTs or Google Gemini, Google Bird, or like DeepSeek from China, and like so on. And I could see like in the near future we can have more man-made bots, or like feedback loops, or more transformers coming out on the rise. And I think it is part of the like I like to show you an example. So this is an example, like just if I take my brand, like if I just search like best hyper intelligence agency, so I can see my business like with the images can be seen in Google Gemini. So the same can be seen from like ChatGPT as well. So the thing here is that how well you are also adapting your business to rank or outshine your search appearance on the GPT, the generative transformers, predictive transformers. And I think it's on the rise, because like just I'm saying you the recent story, like 2 weeks earlier I was having a discussion with one of the clients from like Russia, and he was like, I was just curious like how you found it, because I'm not doing any marketing on Russia, neither I optimize something for Russian segment. So he just said like we were searching something, and we have found certain sources about your business from ChatGPT. So I was like, having traffic sources from generative transformers like ChatGPT can be the next big thing for acquiring or tap into the traffic segment for any businesses, because like people are becoming dependent more towards ChatGPT nowadays. So I think it's on the rise, and optimizing towards AEO and GEO can be the next big like the power plays for, or the marketing stunt for your business as a whole. So we can also we can also leverage on WAT. So WAT 2.0 stands for like experience, expertise, authority, and trust. So we actually calculate all of these metrics into both quantum level, into informational level, or into the AI level as well. So as a business, the more experience a business stands out, the more trust it have from the respected authorities, the more awareness it creates. I think all the data sets can be understood in the minute level. Currently these are on minimal run, but I think in the future, the more you progress, we can see an exponential trend, and the more you keep a focus on the WAT, I think we can definitely see like a threshold peer breaking, and you can see a rise in content synchronization or optimization as a whole. So and this can even create your business, like keep your business more structured and more aligned with the business vision. And I think like if you personally ask me, I think it is actually important even for fine tuning your content, because if it does come from a relevant source or citation, or from like from a precise link or resources, I think it can give more trust towards the people that is consuming the content, and I think it can really create some hyper like awareness, or some like immediate trigger on sales, because like it can drill down on the commercial buyer segment of the intent as well. So moving into the last segment, so what you can understand from quantum computing models or QSM. So the thing is, like, if a business is dealing with particular data, like I would say particularly for the fintech industry or banking segments, where we need to keep up with the trend to understand the transactions every single second, like billions of transactions every single second, how that is affecting the users, how we are keeping track of the fraudulent services and all. So I think at that time, quantum models can actually help us, because we can use the entanglement and superpositions to understand the data sets in real time, by keeping in mind that the accuracy is not being dissolved, because right now, like 1 out of 5 fintech businesses are currently experiencing the desire for understanding fraudulent services more, just so as to make sure that their user experiences are not being outrun. I'll say a very recent story. Just 5 days back, 5 or 6 days back, like India was facing like over I think like over 18.7 billion dollars of transactional values in fault from UPIs, or like which is like the payment gateways that India uses, and people are facing a downtime in the transaction for more than 8 hours in a single day. So like that has caused more financial breakdown or the stress for the end user. I could see people who were reaching down to X.com or the social medias or even the media channels into and like explaining like my EMI was today and I was just going to pay the EMI, so the unified payment interface blocked my transaction. So if I missed my EMI, then it can affect my credit score. Some people more enhance their expression more severe. So I think for fintech, QSM models can be more viable, because they can understand the detailed sets of transaction at the minute scale level. So this can be the need of the hour, maybe in the future, for fintech or for businesses that are totally dependent on tracking each data at the very second stage level. And this also includes the user journey as well. Like I'll keep the thing short, like a potential customers to your product page, then the return or how much they're abandoning their promotional, or they can make a purchase. So how we can actually keep a track of their path or the customer journey from AIL, DL model like awareness, intent, desire, acquisition and interest. So I think like if you like currently we are on an era where we need to understand the user journey at a lot of cervical stages, or by being dependent on feedbacks, or even by becoming dependent on more fragmented insights. But in future we can automate the thing. We can actually understand the user intent more, or the path more, in understanding how the journey is like happening. So what I would like to say is like we can shape the future, because I think like I just remind before ending my statement, like 6 years back when I was on the stage, we are discussing about how we can shape the future with AI. So I think we can see the revolution of AI right now, and I think it's becoming important for businesses to understand that AI is on the run, and it is not part of the difficult task or job for the businesses to once again invest or understand or keep the momentum into going beyond AI. Because the thing is, AI is on the run. People are leveraging AI. A lot of tools are on the run. So people are becoming dependent more on AI tools for content generation, synchronization. Even I have met with many businesses where the entire models are AI dependent, right from the start till the execution. So I think that's not bad. But the thing is, if you want to make sure that that is more accurate, or we need to make sure that it's very much like future proof, then we should leverage into something beyond AI, what we have called as hyper intelligence. And I think this is the starting of something new in marketing, like something of the futuristic marketing we can say, and this can shape the businesses as a whole. So I think that's all. So thank you.
So can we have a big round of applause for Tuhin? So do you have any questions? Anyone? A very interesting and a very power-packed session that we had on AI versus hyperintelligence, which is quite booming nowadays. Any question?
Some great comments, Tuhin, so congratulations. I think you mentioned very interesting point on AEO and GEO and how your brand particularly pops up. You know, isn't it a, dichotomy that you need to have when you are searching for best brand and so on and such, you need to get a brand placement also in there. I mean, imagine if that is also controlled, then the idea of best agency, etc., goes away because it's not,
I think
through AI.
I think yes, you're right. That's true. But and the purpose of AEO and GEO I think rise from there itself, because the thing is like people are becoming more like time saver right now. Even if you ask me, few years back, I was like just 6 months back I was against using ChatGPT because I used to think the same way, because I used to think like it's not giving me enough options. I'm just having a backdated data somewhere out of the internet or certain kind of thing. So even in 2024, from August to November, I actually stopped using ChatGPT for a while because I was becoming irritated with the results it was showing before the launch of ChatGPT 4, because I was seeing like it was showing limited results and certain brands are playing on that particular segment. But the thing is like we are human, and somewhere, even me, I thought like at the time passed by that there are certain informations that we consider those are not important, like to be much important for us. Like if I give you a very big example, I can give you why I came in Singapore. So actually I was in Morocco, so I was having some events there. So just when I say like I had some like keynote presentation for this meeting. So I was just searching in, I just opened ChatGPT and I just searched apart from trip.com or apart from Google Flights, what extra, like I just gave a good prompt like apart from trip.com or GoIBGO or like few XYZ I have given, and exclude all of these sites and give me some other sites from where I can take the pricing for booking new flights. And it have given me some different brands. And guess what? Those brands are also playing in the AO segment.
Yeah, but do you think there will be a era when you start to see paid placements as well?
I think yes, absolutely, because we are also like putting our brands or our client brands into the picture of the AO right from now, because I think it's good to tap traffic because wherever is the traffic, I think you should leverage this. So I can see a potential rise on the traffic on AO segment, because right now if you ask me of a survey, 1 out of 17, not 17, sorry, 3 out of 17, like people are actually vetting on businesses just from the ChatGPT itself. So I think yes, it's good for businesses to leverage on the AO from now. Yes, you might see like less like needful client or leads, but it's good to have obviously traffic from multiple sources.
To me, just one question. It's a very insightful session. So AI, SEO has drastically changed, which you shared with us. Also, but a lot of businesses today still understand what SEO used to be some years back. I want to get listed on the top of Google and all. It's still very traditional in its approach. So how do you think with this ever-changing algorithm by Google, especially on any search engine, how are the agencies coping up and how are they educating themselves so that they could educate businesses better? And are there any tools that are going to be available in the near future which even people can adopt for the hyper intelligence thing that you spoke about?
I think if you ask me for the agencies, I think agencies have currently agencies are being more dependable right now on creating more better contents, and they are being dependent on NLPs, lot of NLPs. Like I'll just a few examples like for relevance, people are using LDA analysis. For similarity, people are using cosine analysis, or even people are using multiple plugins or platforms nowadays to make sure that their contents are not AI written or it's more relevant. So just my purpose of my keynote, like people or agencies as a whole, not people, but agencies are leveraging more in creating more better content in 2025. And I think the trend will be for the next 3 or 4 years, because the thing is that if you create better content with more insightful or relevant data, more citations plugged in, and if you just pump the content more with some great authority and inject more like valuable partner into the content, then it can really stand out. I did play with a lot of contents, and we see that just by making a better content right now can really rank a particular thing well without even creating backlinks or being dependent on the on-page or technical factors. But the problem is here is that the problem is not now. The problem will be 4 years down the line, where if both of us compete, maybe after 4 years down the line, so your content will also be insightful, your content will also have relevance, my content will also have relevance, and it will also be insightful. Now Google has to decide, like out from I'm having 10 on 10 score, you are also having 10 on 10 score, then which one would Google pick? So that will be an era for the revolutionizing of large language model, where it can go into the just like how a normal clock works versus an atomic clock. So Google can then go into the more atomic level of understanding the very minute scale parameters, and that is the trend of the hyperintelligence, and that is what really sets apart from like a classy agency versus a traditional agency. So I think these are the parameters which you need to keep in mind while picking your right partner, because as I said, like yes, SEO, like businesses are dependent on SEO right now, and people are creating content, but you also need to make sure that your future is proof, and you can do so by making sure that you are also like making the adjustment from the atomic level, not just at the granular level. So I think that can create a whole difference in the near future. Thank you.
Hi, team. Before you go, sorry, yeah, on your left. Hi. I wanted to say I completely relate to this topic because I've recently stopped doing SEO marketing in my company. And remember, I deal with a lot of retail brands. I think I brand manage about 11 different brands, you know. And so what I've done is that I've switched off all my Google ads, because right now people are buying and searching for products either on your TikToks. Basically, it's social media, and then again, it's your Gen AIs, where people are searching for what's the best product for this, that, and the other. So what I really want to know is what is now going to be the feature of these, like this AI being able to pull from social media. If I say what's the best toothpaste right now, I need it to pull from social media, to pull from the reviews, not necessarily from websites on Google that are saying this is what's the best toothpaste out there is. Because I have a toothpaste brand, for instance, right? I needed to be able to do that. I needed to be able to leverage in terms of human sentiment, not just what computers are telling you is the best thing.
Yes, I think I've got a query. So I think this is already on the run, because there is a parameter known as knowledge graph panel. So knowledge graph, actually somewhere I have not included that in the topic because that was the part of my previous keynote. So knowledge graph panel is already on the go, where actually businesses like search engines like Google, or even if I go in the Bing or XYZ panel, like other things. So search engines are actually picking down on the topic from featured snippet, zero listings, or even from the social medias as well. So knowledge graph optimization, I could see would be the next big thing, apart from SEO or even like AU itself. So I think that can be one of the marketing stunts, because people are being dependent on knowledge graph, and I think that can be another way to establish your brand out of the entity circle. Because yes, if you just search any single thing, so currently like even Google is at experimental phases where it's becoming like it's picking up certain elements from various social segments, from maybe from TikTok, from Twitter, from YouTube, from Facebook, or from other XYZ, even from Pinterest as well. So the essential element is that you need to make sure that your profiles are highly organized. You need to make sure that your traffic sources are generated. It's not like you are just using some bots to gain enhancement or like enhancement on your like social channels. And I think with the help of more algorithms, which is already in place, so we can even optimize the knowledge graph panel just to make sure that your social presences are well organized, just so that essential elements like Google can pick down on the right information at real time. So I think yes.
So alright, can we have a big round of applause for our opening keynote address that is on AI versus hyperintelligence. Thank you so much, Dr. Tuhin, for joining in today.
Come on guys, huge round of applause for Dr. Tuhin Banik and for the wonderful opening keynote address.